Shadow figures are ubiquitous in the work of William Kentridge. They often appear in long processions of migrant workers on the road or as protesters on a march. They appear in recent works such as The Head and the Load, a stage production recently performed in Johannesburg. They appear in More Slowly Play the Dance, a video installation when Zeitz Mokka opened its doors in 2018, and also on the banks of the Tiber River in Rome in 2015, where you see the history of Rome portrayed in those shadow figures. Now, if one thinks of shadows, one thinks of something quite ephemeral, quite insubstantial, quite fleeting. They are here and then there and then gone. But Kentridge's shadow figures have substance. They are cast in bronze, they have weight. But just like shadows change all the time, think of a person walking under a series of streetlights at night and the shadow contracting and expanding as the person walks around. So it happens that a viewer walking around these sculptures has actually different angles and the figure changes the whole time. So in one shadow figure, for example, a man turns into a corkscrew. The corkscrew becomes a woman as one walks around that one. Another example, a seated male figure would change into a jug. Another example, for example, would be a person carrying scales becoming a compass or a globe. And the last example constitutes a man carrying a flag, but walking around it, it all becomes a pylon with overhead electric cables. Now, these four figures emanate from his operatic performance, Lulu, from 2015, an opera written by Alban Berg, telling the story of Lulu and her many suitors. They all want something from her, but they at the same time want to fulfill a void within themselves, and they think she would be able to do that. Kentridge never conceives of sculptures per se. It's always something that emanates. His sculptures emanate from stage props, from makeshift structures that he uses in and around his studio, and so it has a long history. It is not just a sculpture per se. These four figures, as well as a wonderful scribble cat, also by William Kentridge, form part of what we call the evening sale, and that happens on Tuesday, the 7th of November.